We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulties.
What is going on, everybody? Sorry, Michael J. Crawford, the anti-trucker here, and just got thrown off a little bit by Mr. Miles. Good to see you, Mr. Miles, but wants me to check something on Skype, obviously business related here. And so, let me see what you're saying. Next video. All right, so yeah, well, I'll talk to you a little bit about that later, Miles. But yeah, I'm not opposed to it. Anyway, sorry about that. So, Sci-Fi Guy is first after I started the stream. He was also first before I started the stream. BirdOPrey posted before I started the stream, but not since. Shame on you, Bird, especially since your name is in the title today. Life with Matthew says, good morning. How you doing, Matthew? Still on the wrong side of the war, I see. J Roar says, hello, everyone. Cinnabon says, hello. Down with the evil god dictator of Caroga, BirdOPrey5, says Josh. Now, you see, I'm trying to be nice to BirdOPrey5 today. I'm going to offer him a peace offering on this stream, and hopefully he likes it. So I built him his very own throne that he can sit on while visiting us in Kurdistan. So, yeah. Sorry, coffee cup's just a little too full. And then J-Wars says, Sky, birds in flight. Huh, you know the usual. Oh, what's the live about? Oh. Or, no, Darren says, what's up? I get it. Surf says, tinfoil hat. Tinfoil hat's right there. I don't think I'm going to need it today, but yeah. And yeah, I will ask about that in a little bit, Miles. First, let me get into the meat, and then we'll talk about that, because, you know, usually it takes a little while before everybody gets onto the stream. And let's see. Kronos is a liar. I'm first, because Kronos just said first and hello. Mr. Miles, yeah, sure, you're first, whatever. Josh says, Anti-Trucker is a shill for CBS having the trailer for Picard show on his channel. Oh, did you get the Picard trailer as your ad? That's hilarious. So, I've not used Skype in ages. Skype is all right. I like it a lot. That's how I communicate mostly with Miles and BirdOPrey and stuff like you know, when we're trying to talk about stuff to do with the channel and, you know, hey, Anti-Trucker, when the hell are you going to make a video, that kind of thing. Dr. Alex says, hi, Anti-Trucker, hope the back is improving. Unfortunately, not yet. Waiting now to hear from, and by the way, if my phone rings, I'll have to answer it because I'm waiting for a call from the surgery center to schedule my knee replacement. Kronos says, Mr. Miles called me a liar, unsubbing. I'm not Mr. Miles. Why are you unsubbing to me? Jeez. Breaking and sad news from Caroga. Our glorious leader was killed during the maiden test of the SOB Washington, an attack class vessel. The ship was lost. The body recovered and reanimated. Oh wow, that is sad news indeed. But I'm glad that the ship was destroyed. Good morning, Anti-Trucker says Uncle Ramus. Good morning, DJ, or Uncle Ramus. DJ says good morning, everyone. And first. Bird, is that sad news for Carogans? Yeah, it should be great news for Carogans because they can be liberated. But of course, I get the sad news that he was reanimated. Don't forget to switch to live chat. I actually remembered this time. Thank you, Kronos. Cinnabon says, what, that the ship you forgot engines last night? You forgot engines? Yeah, that's kind of an important component. No rush. I thought I'd be able to get you to read it before your intro is up. No problem. Before I know what you meant. Got an advert for some food ordering business. Oh, sounds yummy. That makes me hungry. That ship fell over because I also forgot gyroscopes and then got smashed. Yeah, I did that once. I built a ship and didn't put a gyroscope on it, and then I couldn't figure out why I couldn't maneuver. Surf says, I got STD ad probably because I canceled all access. Yeah, because once you cancel all access, showing somebody STD is going to convince them to come back. Darren says, personal plug, I was on Mark Sargent's Strange World radio program last night talking about flat earth and stuff after Intricker's live stream. Y'all should check out the YouTube version. Very cool, Darren. Give us the link if you've got it, and we'll post it in the chat. And Darren, if you don't mind, send it to me on the side. I know you mentioned it in Skype. I don't know if you sent the link, but send me the link for the video too so I can check it out when I get a chance. Don't forget, people, hit the like button, share via socials, donate if you can, and down with Caroga. Turtistan today, Turtistan tomorrow, and most importantly, AM turds for your constitutional. Yes. Dr. Alex says, was sunbathing while editing in the garden, now sitting in the shed while editing because it is pissing it down. Crazy weather here. Now, I actually know that one from, there was an old series of commercials that I think it was for a scotch or something, that would teach you how to speak Scottish. And the guy was standing there going, it's pissing a lot. And then it said in the subtitles, it's raining quite heavily. So I actually got that. Engine, like brains, are overrated. Not really, yeah. DJ says, didn't get an ad. Well, that's just because you're a jerk. Darren says, so the flagship of Caroga sunk? Well, I'm not sure what happened. You'd have to ask Bird, because he's the one that had the flagship of Caroga. I'm still working on constructing the Ark, which is our transport vessel that I'm building in order to recover all the stuff from the base that Cinnabon attacked and completely disabled. And so... hope everyone's having a better day than I am. I hope so too, Rock Solid. Not because just because if everybody's having a better day than you, then that raises the standard. So I hope everybody's having a better day than me too. But yeah, plenty of magnesium and gold for the refineries and made tons of missiles. Thank you, Chris. Yes, missiles is something we definitely needed. Wait, let me get this right. Bird couldn't fly. Yeah, kind of ironic. Sent the link. Thank you, Darren. And in fact, I will... Whoa, Skype is being weird. Let me try closing it and reopening it. All right. There you go. Flat Earth Talks with Darren. And so I will post that in the chat right now. So if you want to see Darren talking about Flat Earth stuff, there's the link for it. Disney missed their numbers. The stock fell by 3.7 in after-hours trading. It's being blamed on their movies. That's strange if it's being blamed on the movies, considering the Disney movies. I mean, they just set the all-time box office record with Endgame, and they have the next 5 top movies of the year are all Disney properties. That doesn't make sense. Brains are for idiots. That's technically kind of true. It was lashing here grand now. Well, I don't know that one, but I'll assume that means raining a lot too. How to know it's summer in Ireland? The rain gets warm. Yeah, same thing with the American South, by the way. We get warm rain all the time. And in fact, last night we had a fairly substantial storm blow through. Caroga sunk their own battleship because they're all drunk. Probably true. And that's why I am going to make a formal peace offering to... since the Lord God Dictator of Caroga is with us right now, I will make a peace offering to hopefully, settle things down in just a moment. Nathan, though, says, oh yeah, I just read that. So, and thank you, Nathan. All right, so, and Rock Solid, I'm sorry if you're feeling depressed and stuff. Believe me, I know how that feels. But I will tell you this, Rock Solid, and I'm being absolutely serious. If you're feeling genuinely depressed, as I have been for the last couple of weeks, or last couple of months, get some help. Seriously, get some help. Don't let it get out of control. Please, please do. Because it can help. I think these last couple of weeks, while they've been rough, have been a little less rough because of the therapy that I started. Let's see. Disney is signaling wokeness now. Of course their stock is dropping. Well, that could be part of it. I'm not going to lie. Caroga just destroyed themselves yesterday. Well, the dictator destroyed his country in the game. in his game yesterday for Jollies. Well, of course, because he's a sick man. All right. Irish joke. Summer in Ireland. I heard it will be a Thursday. You know what? The more you say stuff like that, Godspeed, the more I want to go to Ireland. I tell you, I'm being absolutely serious, and I think Mrs. Antchecker would like that too. Now, why is the anti-cam out of whack again? There we go. Got to keep the anti-cam on anti. Thanks, Antchecker. Gone the counseling route in the past never helped. I need things to change in life. That's the issue. I understand that, Rock Solid, but don't necessarily. And this is coming from someone who is a horrible skeptic when it comes to psychiatrists, psychologists, things, all the alternative medicines out there, things like acupuncture. So I'm a total no, I don't think so kind of guy. However, it really just depends on if you find the right counselor to talk to. That's honestly what you need to do. And Yosef throws a couple of bucks into the chat. For some reason, I didn't hear the thing go off. Maybe it's just being delayed because why not? Let me see. Is it showing anything on the dashboard? No. It's last thing I have there got it is. Something better. All right. I was just worried. All right. Thank you, Yosef. I do appreciate it. It says peace offering or peace offering. It's a blast. It is a blast. I'm dyslexic, so I can't tell. I don't know which is which. I always get them confused. Depression is the new normal. It shouldn't be, but people are more and more depressed these days. That is true. And of course, spin it. You got it. By the way, Joshua's almost done with a new super chat reward. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I understand it's going to end up being a mega chat reward because it's a rather lengthy one, but hopefully it'll be awesome. Yes. And Mr. Miles says, would you be happy with Mrs. Antchecker in Ireland, though? Ireland is much closer to Dr. Alex than in the U.S., just saying. True, but I am secure enough in my manhood and everything to know that Dr. Alex can't measure up. Peter says, Irish joke, Antchecker, Fairhaven. Don't know that one, Peter. Making peace with Caroga is like signing a treaty with Saddam Hussein. And it can be. And it's funny. BirdOPrey, if he just, got rid of the goatee and just had a mustache, I'm just saying. I think a couple of us annoyed Lord last night. We kept sending your best regards to him during a live stream. Oh, I doubt that really got on his nerves. I think that as long as you weren't rude about it. And I mean, it's not like Laura and I aren't friends. In fact, we were talking just the other day. He actually, and I'll say this about Lore Reloaded, and I absolutely mean this, guys. If you happen to be on a Lore Reloaded stream, be nice to him, send him some love, because I will tell you, he, out of the blue yesterday, or not yesterday, but day before, I think it was. Man, days are flowing together on me. Anyway, I think it was day before yesterday. Completely out of the blue, I'm sitting here trying to work on a video and not getting any progress done. And Mrs. Antchecker comes upstairs and says, hey, James is here. I'm like, what? And so I go downstairs and talk to him, and he brought us a gift card to help out with the groceries because he knows about all the crap with the insurance people. So, he's a great guy. He really is. So absolutely, show him some love. Absolutely. Star Wars Episode 9 could be 3 hours long. I would not be surprised if it was over 3 hours because they've got a lot to fix. Let's see. Glad I left my wicker chair in the shed after the last Dr. Reed's video shoot. Well, Dr. Alex, here's the problem. You see, the only way you're going to ever have a chance with Mrs. Antchecker is to continue the Doctor Who stuff and grow a goatee, but I know you can't do that. I love the wet smacking sound when the Antchecker kicks the Discovery. Fairhaven is Voyager's Irish holodeck. Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you. I just right over the head. I watched Rotten Tomatoes video on the Comic-Con trailers, and they were all generic, and every one of the people were rebelling against the government or authority because of racism and sexism. I know Hollywood is really playing it safe right now with that kind of stuff, and it's boring. I am so sick of the evil. The evil government conspiracy, the evil business, the evil church, whatever, the big evil organization. And it's always one of those three, It's either a governmental body, a big business, or a religious group. And it's just lame. My copy of What We Left Behind arrives today. Very excited. Also, I haven't ordered it yet. I need to once I have a little extra money. Laura's channel's up over 60,000 subscribers now. I remember when it was around 30. Oh, yeah. I remember when I was jealous of when he was at 10,000 and I was at like 5. So he's doing great. Peter says, James is a great guy for that. Absolutely. Laura is a good guy. He can come across as a jerk sometimes, but he is a good guy. Did he add a few dollars for anti-depression liquid? No, he did not, but that's okay. I mean, like I said, he completely showed up out of the blue to give that to me. So, that was above and beyond right there. So I want to show you guys what's going on in Space Engineers. And for those of you that haven't played it, you really should check it out. It is a fun game. If you like The Expanse, it feels like The Expanse as a video game. It really does. It's like you took The Expanse and crossed it with Minecraft. Nathan says, Star Wars Episode 9 is going to have an uphill battle to get back any of the credibility with me because both The Last Jedi and the actions of Rian Johnson. Oh, yeah, I'm with you 100%. J.J. Abrams has to literally pull off a miracle to make me excited about Star Wars after Episode 9. We'll see. I'm not even talking about the SJW Hollywood thing, Trigger. People are just blaming the left as a whole. If you mean, I'm not. I must have missed the context of that. But people are still blaming the left as a whole. Well, the Hollywood thing, though, is that, like, for example, I don't blame the left for everything, right? I don't. I don't think that all liberals are bad. In fact, I think there are lots of great liberals. I do think that the SJW thing is freaking nuts, and I do rail against that constantly. And since it happens to come from the left, some people misinterpret that as me being anti-left. Let's see. Brian says, Trigger, hey, Trigger, the director of the female Thor movie is telling fans that he can change the mythos at any minute. Please, not the MCU too. We'll find out what they do. But here's the thing. Female Thor is in the comics. So he's not changing the mythos by having a female Thor. And it's not necessarily a female Thor movie. We know that Jane Foster will get the hammer at some point, but that doesn't mean she's going to be Thor from now on. At least I hope not. Delivered a patrol ship to the base. Awesome, Captain. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't know if I saw it, but cool. Antrigger, he keeps doing it, and I've tried educating him. Anti-Trekker, he keeps doing it, and I've tried. See, Peter, I'm a little confused, like I'm missing part of the conversation. I'm in live chat, but I think I'm missing something. I must have missed something that was said earlier. Welcome to our world where the right gets blamed for everything. Well, that's true too. And so I don't know who he is, but Peter says, I find the woke Hollywood stuff boring too, and Trigger, you can't have a Mary Sue and everything. I agree. And here's the thing. I know that some of you guys, my subscriber base is pretty darn diverse. I have a lot of liberals, a lot of conservatives. And I'm okay with that as long as we realize, hey, this is something we say at our church, but I think it applies here. Major on the major, minor on the minors, right? And I think we can all agree that some of the crap going on in film and television these days is a massive problem that's coming from the far left. Why? I don't know. Because it seems like they're really against the success of the last, couple of decades of Hollywood or something. Peter says, the likes of Dave Cullen. Dave Cullen, I'll tell you, sometimes I think Dave goes too far with some of his stuff. It's his political stuff. But I like his commentaries when he talks about nerdy stuff mostly. Let's see. My last Doctor Who video, The Three Masters, totally failed the Bechdel test. Even Jesse Milestone played a man. Well, you suck then, Dr. Alex. No Bechdel test rewards for you. Female Thor was a mistake. They crapped all over the lore of Thor. Many people have picked up the hammer and only get the powers of Thor. They gave female Thor his name, title, and power. Yeah, I know. I actually have the hardbound book of it because I've been intending to burn it, but I haven't actually read it, but I just hate the idea. Les says, I tried watching The Expanse, but there's something about it. I just can't get into it as much as I wanted to. Well, here's the thing about The Expanse, and this is absolutely true. The first season of The Expanse is very, very slow. And so you have to let it build. And it's in order to... and season 2, though, doesn't start over and build again. Season 2 picks up right at the end of season 1 and continues to build. And the building becomes a frenzy by the end of season 2. And then season 3 just keeps going. And that's the thing. It's a slow burn, especially the first season, but it never slows down once it picks up. And it's a lot of fun. Andy Checker, let's see. I there last night with Lore. He needs some help. What do you mean he needs some help? I'm not sure. I didn't watch Lore's stream, so I don't know what you're talking about. I seriously doubt that Waititi would make a woke movie. That's the thing. See, Taika Waititi doesn't seem like he would do that. I mean, if you look at, I've seen all of Taika Waititi's films, and his more obscure ones from the past. Some of them are hilarious. And Thor Ragnarok, you could tell if you watch his older films, Thor Ragnarok is Taika Waititi. That is a pure Taika Waititi film. And so I can't imagine him crapping all over the lore. But we'll see what happens. Remember, the Venom movie had She-Venom, but She-Venom was nothing more than a cameo. Let's hope She-Thor will be similar. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Either it's kind of like how Cap with Thor, if it's like that, where she picks up the hammer and engages in battle for a minute, but that's it. I'm totally cool with that. But if it turns out that she's taking the mantle of Thor from now on, that's going to piss me off. Oh, Edgar, did you ever check out the Sinatra Says video? I did. And in fact, I was telling Mrs. Antitrekker about it with that state representative that was going off on the guy who was just upset because she was taking a whole cartload of stuff through the express line. Peter says, his nerdy stuff, I'm still listening. Yeah, and I think his nerdy stuff is really good. Multi-Gunman says, how's it going? I'm hanging in there. Yosef wants a male Black Widow. No. I tried the Outpost, Anttrigger, just the first episode. Couldn't get into it. Have you seen it? I have not. James C's really down at the moment, too. I don't know. He didn't seem down when I talked to him, but I know he's got a lot going on. I mean, he's going to school full-time, plus he's doing the YouTube thing full-time. He's got, I think the divorce really hit him hard, but he seems to be recovering from that. He's looking at selling the house. And I mean, he's going through a lot. I don't know that he's down. He didn't seem like it when I talked to him, but if he does seem down, hey, tell him something to cheer him up. Tell him something stupid about me or something, and not always make him happy. Hollywood hates Pat Haas because it was white guys mainly. That's true. Laura seems wore out, tired. He's doing a daily stream now, trying to make a certain amount of money each day. Well, and that's the thing. If he's trying to make a budget, and I can understand. Although with 60,000 subs, he should be having an easier time. Although summer is a slower time for YouTube. My ad revenue has dropped like a rock because of the algorithm changes. And which reminds me, I haven't paid you for this month, Miles. I need to do that after the stream. But and so you can only count on super chats sometimes, and not everybody wants to super chat all the time, which is totally understandable. In fact, I was talking to Totally Awesome 80s on Discord about that, because he, and I know a lot of you feel the same way about this, that there is it's really annoying that you tune into so many YouTube channels and all they say is, hey, super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat, right? John Campio is one of the first channels I ever saw that did that, where he basically flat out said he will not read your comment unless it's a super chat. And so at that point, I checked out. I don't, and I swear up and down that even if for some reason my channel explodes and becomes very popular or something, to where, like if you look at Nerdrotic or Doomcock, they'll do a stream and they'll have 1,000, 1,500 people watching a stream, and the chat's just, and sure, you can't read every single chat, but I would never make it that I would only read super chats. Never. Hey, we just got a new subscriber, McMacia. So if you're here, welcome. If you're not here, well, then I guess I shouldn't say anything to you. Interesting that she had to go through the express lane because she was pregnant and had problems standing, but was fine with a 60-minute press conference. Yeah, I know. It's just people, being jerks. The outpost is really weird, Trigger. It was up and down. Well, I haven't seen it at all. I don't know anything about it. The Mr. Miles version of Thor will carry a large wrench, not a hammer. Yes. We need to come up with something for that, Miles. If Lore could use it, I highly recommend going through divorce care. I did it twice after my divorce, and it did help. Rock solid. The next time Lore streams, tell him that. Because coming from me, that would mean nothing. Because me and Mrs. Antricker have been together since 1987. All right, so, so I mean, we've been married almost as long as Lore Reloaded's been alive. And but coming from a fellow divorcee, then that can mean something. And Mr. Miles says, I've seen channels so that I wasn't able to read all the super chats because they got so many. In that case, I do understand why they would skip normal ones if they can even read all. Well, but here's what I would do, Mr. Miles, and I would do something similar to what Doomcock has done a few times. I don't know if he still does, because I don't watch Doomcock streams very often, just because I prefer his reactor room videos and stuff like that. But when he, when he gets so many super chats that he can't get to them all during a stream, he just does a separate video where he does nothing but respond to the super chats. And that's exactly what I would do. I would continue to read as much stuff as I could, and then if I missed a bunch of super chats at the end, then I would do a separate video just responding to those. And I think that would make sense. You missed yesterday's city skylines. Traffic got bad. I destroyed the city. Yeah, well, you're a jerk. 1987. Wow. Yes, I know. But Lori, he doesn't know me from Adam, Anti-Tracker. That's okay, Rox. But you know what? You can tell him, hey, Lori, you know what? I went through something like that myself. Here's what I did, and it helped me. Gary acknowledged me when he sees me. Yeah, Gary's a good guy. If he knows you and he sees you in the chat, he'll at the very least say hi. Like he does that for me all the time. If he sees me chatting with other people in the chat and his stuff, then he'll go, oh, Anti-Trekker's here. Hey, Anti-Trekker, that kind of thing, which is nice. Oops, and I just realized my guy is dying, so I better get that taken care of very quickly, or else I will be very, very upset. I have no oxygen. That's the problem. All right, and let's get out of there and see if that. Yes, that helps. Whoo, down to 20% health before I die. Before I got the oxygen tank replaced. There we go. Well, I'm about as old as your marriage. 32, 33 in December, Anti-Trigger. Well, and funny, we did get married in December. Congrats on those years, and here's many, many more. Thank you. I totally understand when a channel host reads mostly super chats. That's good manners, but still loses the personal bonding with the broke viewers. I agree, and that's the thing. Look, I am I am definitely not a rich person, right? You know, I'm struggling to, and like right now with no income, all I have coming in is the YouTube money, and that's not enough. And so it's been very, very stressful. And so the last thing I'm going to do right now is throw a super chat at Lore or Nerdrotic or anybody else, even though normally I love to. Like every now and then I throw a super chat at Bird, and it's fun. I like doing that. But I'm not going to do that until my money situation is better. However, that it sucks if you have people that you like to follow and you like to interact with, but they only respond to super chats because now you feel like, oh, well, I guess I'm just not important enough. All right, let me get into the game here so I can show you guys what I was talking about. So first of all, I was going to start it here. This is our cryo room, although it's not completely done, so I don't know why, but the oxygen isn't quite working in here yet. So this is our cryo room where you come out, and then this is where you exit the ship and go to our base. However, when you're in the main ship, you come down here, and one thing I'm very proud of, by the way, with this ship, is that you can find your way around the ship even if you've never been here before. Sassy would trounce Auntie. I doubt it because, first of all, Sassy is, like, really fat.
I have got something better.
And Luke throws a couple of euros. Thank you so much, Luke. I do appreciate it, and says, hooray, I made it to the European stream. Welcome, Luke, my favorite Frenchman, who happens to be related to Leonard Hofstadter. All right, so what I was saying, though, is if you look here, you can see, so there's directions right here. So you can go to sick bay or the cryo room. So obviously, cryo room is this. If we go to sick bay, then we have a medical bay and H2O2 so that you can replenish your oxygen and hydrogen as needed. Oh, and you're saying Sassy would trounce me. Okay. Yes, I am fat. But what's your point? I'm also, but here's the thing. The problem is that I am a human and could step on Sassy. I would never do that because Sassy seems like a sweet dog. But yeah. And besides, Sassy works for me, so it doesn't really matter. Surf says, I'm sending you a super mail. Awesome. Well, I can't wait till it gets here. I forgot I got paid. Turtis played. I don't know the number for Turtis, so you have to. Now, BirdOPrey knows all the numbers, and he has the list. So, BirdOPrey, do you know which one is the Turtis? So that I can play that for Dr. Alex. And well, I wait for that answer. Fun fact, I never watched Big Bang Theory, perhaps because I was busy starring in it. Number 14 for Luke. You got it. And there's Luke's.
Okay, Dad, let me get this helmet off here. And...
You, Luke Skywalker. Lousy and great. Hate that kid.
And let's see. BirdOPrey says the fight between Auntie the dog and Sassy. Well, yeah, and that's why I think Auntie has an advantage over Sassy because she's not as fat. They're about the same size, I would assume, except that, you know, my dog is in better shape. You know, because I take my dog for walks. It hurts to go for a walk, but I still do it. I know you can't do that. I don't blame you, but you know that's just the facts of life. If someone says they like Star Trek and do videos on it, I would think they know a lot about it. You would think, yeah, but I'm not sure what your point is. Are you saying I don't know anything about Star Trek? Because that would hurt. I was the first one to send you a super mail, LOL. So that was worth the reaction. Death Dealer's in the house, says I made it. Welcome. Disney are remaking Home Alone. Are they really? Oh, jeez. Sassy works for Anti-Trekker. She double-crossed Caroga. Release the hounds. Capture immediately. Well, yeah, that's actually true. Auntie is old. Sadie, I assume means Sassy, has youth. That's true. Sassy does have youth. So if you have an older dog who's in good shape versus a younger fat dog, that's an interesting contest there. Anyway, so, and Bird of Prey thinks it's number 9. We'll find out in just a moment, Dr. Alex.
White, is this right?
There you go, Dr. Alex. All right, so now back to the fun here. So there's the exit, there's the cryo tubes, and there is sick bay. So if you go through here, you have 3 options here. Notice fuel processing and captain's quarters that way. Ship stores, main engineering, crew quarters, and rec deck are all this way. And up here is the bridge, which I believe I actually showed off the bridge on a previous stream. But we'll go up here anyway just so you can see it. It's not quite done, but here is the bridge of the ship, 3 control panels and all that. And you can see our base, new turret stand, and all that. So, and there's, of course, the great Turtistani flag, which you will see proudly displayed on all of our ships. So it's true that Antrigger was the one who let the dogs out. It was indeed. That song was all about me. Now, this way we have, and I got to be careful not to accidentally reveal the big, oh, that was stupid of me. The peace offering before I get to that part. So this little walkway goes up to the fuel processing center. So we have in here is a supply of ice, which we use for our hydrogen engines. Here we have another cargo container for keeping extra. You can see we're above the engines. And then back here is where the captain's quarters has not been completed yet, but this is where it will be, is in the back of the ship, which is, of course, traditional on old tall ships. I got that idea actually from Hector, who did something similar with a ship he did, but his ship was a lot smaller. So, and then so we go back, and so that's the captain's quarters, and fuel processing center is taking that direction. The other direction, this is actually our ship. Well, this is a ship in our fleet. Now again, there's some stuff on the ship, and this is all one ship. This is not. So we got ship stores, main engineering, crew quarters, and rec deck. So the ship stores are right here. And so you can see we have a substantial amount of cargo containers here. And we're going to be using these mainly for transporting large amounts of goods. Like, for example, I'm going to go to our old base, grind down the entire base, and put everything into these cargo containers in order to salvage it. And that's the main reason for the large ship stores here. The crew quarters and rec deck have not been completed yet. So if we come down here, it's going to be over here, and you can see it's a big empty room right now. However, that will be done. Now, main engineering is where I decided to make something just for Bird of Prey. So Bird of Prey, let me know that you're watching, because I want to make sure that you're paying attention when I give the big reveal here of my peace offering to you. And Luke says, "Hey, Trigger, Dr. Alex would you find okay to see the 21st century sci-fi TV shows moving away from the legacy shows like Trek, Who, and BSG towards brand new household names?" I would, as long as they're good. Like, for example, Luke, I'm really into The Expanse right now, and I never heard of The Expanse 3 years ago. So, absolutely. I think that since they're ruining Star Trek, Doctor Who, and that kind of stuff, yeah, create something new. So I'm still waiting to hear from Bird of Prey. I want to make sure that he's here because I cannot show my okay, he is here. Want to make sure that he sees our great peace offering to the dictator of Caroga. So this is the main engineering area, and you can see that we have a few ion engines. We also have some hydrogen engines. This obviously a big ship needs a lot of engines. However, we made something just for you, Bird of Prey. your very own throne. So there you go. The Throne of BirdOPrey right there. And so I would, you can, anytime you want, you can come and sit in that chair. Ignore the gigantic hydrogen engine right behind it. So, so what do you think, Bird? Do you like it? I mean, it's at least it's not wrecked like your old one. R.I.P. Kaiopaka. Well, yeah, she's been, or is the actress gone? And so I would like the new sci-fi that was compelling characters and strong storylines that doesn't have SJWBS in it, but I would more than likely have to do it myself. Well, Nathan, check out The Expanse. I tell you that. And the funny thing is, The Expanse is the absolute epitome of diversity. There is a ton. It's a very diverse cast. Strong women, strong men. The heart and soul is actually a white dude, which is funny, but there's this one character, Christian, a elderly woman. And let me tell you, she scares the crap out of me. So she is a tough old bitch, I will tell you. And she is hilarious. She cusses up a storm. And she is just, but she's not like, they didn't try to make women into men, right? Christian is an extremely elegant and dignified lady. And she wears beautiful dresses and stuff and just absolutely gorgeous. How does that not damage the other engines? I don't know. I didn't design the game. I just know that you can do that. So Wesley says that's a lot of hydrogen thrusters. Not really. It's more ion thrusters than hydrogen. Thundercats Ho says, is that an ejection seat that fires people into the direction of the sun? No. It's just a throne for Bird to be able to relax anytime he wants to. I'll fly right into the middle here. So you can see that it's very nice and warm and cozy in here. As you know, he has a 7 million megawatt lamp shining in his face and a rather sizable hydrogen engine to warm up his back. So he would never be uncomfortable while in his throne. And of course, if he's ever low on energy, if he sits in the throne, then it recharges his energy. So he can sit here and look at all the pretty lights as we fire up the engines and let him enjoy a nice sauna. Some of your engines look too close. Well, I haven't tested it yet, so we'll see how well it works when I actually fire up the engines. If I destroy a few, then I'll know that I need to adjust and make the ship a little bit bigger. Way too close, you're going to cook some of your thrusters. It's going to explode. Well, I don't know. Is it? Because there's not a direct path all the way back. Let me see. And now granted, Cinnabon, you know a lot more about this game than me, so you could be right. However, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks between the main hydrogen thrusters and the catwalk here. So you think 7 blocks isn't enough? So because I don't know. I mean, I could move those thrusters, but I genuinely don't know what is enough or what is the correct amount. The ion thrusters are too close. I didn't think ion thrusters. I thought you could put pretty close to each other. Star Wars doesn't need more ships to look like pizza slices. Well, that's true. You put birds thrown in front of hydrogen engines. Wait a minute. That's not hydrogen-powered engines. It's a bird power engine. I knew it was a trap. Peter says, try the engines now while you're there and trigger next to them. No. Is there a Pizza Hut on the ship? Good question, Uncle Remus. Not yet. So you think the ion engines facing each other? So I have, you're talking about this row in here. You think these are too close to each other? Well, there's one easy way to test that. and without destroying this ship, hopefully. And that is, we'll just build a little test ship, which is easy to do in 0G. And I don't know what I have on me. Yeah, I got some plates and stuff, so we'll just do a very, very basic ship. In fact, it'll be a really stupid looking ship, but it'll be a fun little test. This is going to be a bird of prey type of thing right here. The ions need at least 2 blocks of space. Well, let's find out. So we need ion engine. Whoops, that's a large. We want the regular ion thruster. So I suck at the direction. There we go. All right, and so we're making a very stupid looking little ship. Let's see. We want, is it 3, 2, 3, 4? Where are the restrooms on the ship? Haven't added those yet, but actually the funny thing is that the game does actually have a restroom block that you can put in. So that is actually going to happen. Man, I hate the way the rotation here is so weird. Come on. There we go. All right, so almost there. Chronos says, read my last comm. What'd you say, Chronos? You said, is that an outer space pizza oven? Yes. That's exactly right. That would be a good name for the ship. The outer space pizza oven. All right, so we go here and build another set. This is going to be the funkiest looking little mini ship, but hey, if it works, it works. Let's see. And, you know, for those of you that are bored out of your mind, I apologize. But Space Engineers is a ridiculously fun game. All right, so let me see. And actually, I didn't even know you could have engines facing each other and have it work. It doesn't seem like it should work. But Cinnabon, you're actually the reason that I came up with the engine room design, because of your cube ship that had large ion thrusters inside of it, all facing each other. And I didn't know you could do that. So if you're right, then I can obviously, I would take a little bit of work, but I can expand the ship outward and space out the engines a little bit. Let's see. Not the ship name, the engine room. Yeah, I get, yeah. Well, the restrooms use toilet paper or the 3 seashells. We need to know this. Well, Rock Solid, I hadn't really given that a whole lot of thought, to be honest with you. All right, so, and for this ship, we're just going to put a stupid little cockpit down. Or, I'm sorry, a genitalia pit. I keep forgetting, don't call it a cockpit. It is a genitalia pit. And we'll just put that one right there. There we go. So we got a genitalia pit and 4 thrusters. Obviously, this ship will not be going up or down, but that's okay. Or you could put the engines on the outside like every real spaceship ever. Well, the main engines are, in fact, on the outside, Bird, as you can see. So, yeah, that's not a problem. Yosa says, not bored, I'm vacuuming. Use the good old hand to wipe. No, the 3 seashells are definitely better than just using your hand. Let's see. Do we have... I'm sure we have some thrusters still. Let's go to... And yes, we have... So we need about Well, that should do. Don't need everything built. I just want to build at least one thruster to see if it works. The rest we'll just, well, we'll need to build two, actually. All right, so what do we need? We need construction comps to finish this. It's a gender pit now because biological sex is a social construct. Well, no, I think genitalia pit makes sense because if the old name was cockpit and that's male specific, but you want to keep the same name just not being, you know, part of the patriarchy, so genitalia pit would make sense, I think. Don't you? I mean, come on, genitalia pit. Who wants to go for, hey kids, who wants to climb in the genitalia pit? You know, that just rolls off the tongue like, yeah, awesome. It's time to play in the genitalia pit. Note to self: never shake Darth Maul's hand. Oh, that's wrong. Let's see. Darth Maul says it's only a game, Rocks. Well, Darth Maul, you know, that just saying, if you're using your hand, then that, you know, I wouldn't shake your hand. All right, so we got an ion thruster there, an ion thruster. Oops, need a couple of large steel tubes, of course. Oh yeah, we're gonna need a power source for this stupid thing. Your ship looks kind of like the Cygnus. Yeah, it kind of does, actually. And by the way, so if you haven't played Space Engineers, the basic gist of the game, like I said, is Minecraft, only with much better graphics and with real weapons. You don't have to, like, you know, dig sand traps and stuff for people to, in order for people to be able to fight each other. So that looks pretty good. We need to get our cockpit to where it's working. We need a couple of motors for that. And then we need to... well, I wonder... do you think a solar panel or two would be enough to power a couple of ion engines? I don't know. We'll find out in a moment here. So just in case we need some more of that... now we got plenty of those. We got plenty of those. That's fine. Solar panels. I know we'll need probably 100. Do we have any tubes? Yeah, and I can't remember what I was. Oh yeah, and construction comps. Get some more of those. All right. Space engineer Cinnabon, you'll need a control panel so you can throttle up to the throttle one up to max. And oh, never mind. Yes, because I did put a cockpit on there. So this is like one of the weirdest looking ships ever made, I think. But oh yeah, motors. That's what I needed. Duh. You grab all the components you need without having to. Let's see. Space into your tips. After you place the block, point your grinder at it and click, and go to the cargo container and click the middle map. Oh really? Are you serious? I didn't know about that. Well, gee, just go with build a big reactor for it. That would be a little on the stupid side, mainly because if I were to do that, then a big reactor takes a lot of components, and it would be a complete waste. So, yeah, because no doubt, assuming that Cinnabon is correct, that you need more space. Whoa, just hit some serious lag in the game. That's the one thing that kills me more than anything else in this game is, whoa, when you hit a lag spike like that. That is the most dangerous thing in this game. And of course, need displays. All right, so you're saying you point the grinder at it. Let me take a look. Okay. You place the block, point your grinder at it, and right-click. Okay, so I right-clicked with the grinder on it. Then go to cargo container and middle mouse button. All right. But what if you have to search through the cargo containers for the stuff? Like, will it pull from all cargo containers that are connected to that cargo container? And Luke says, Andrew, the comment you missed. Do you think there's any room in your own YouTube market for original sci-fi, show pitches? And would you contemplate the idea to make one? You mean like make my own original sci-fi pitch? See, I didn't see anything happen there. Let's see. But no matter. Yeah, because it didn't. When I hit the middle mouse button, it didn't. I don't have displays in my inventory now. So, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's displays here. Oops, except that I need to get rid of some of this stuff. We'll get rid of 100 of these. They're big, and there we go. So, Luke, are you saying, like, you would want me to actually come up with the concept and put it on my channel as a pitch, or are you saying that you would like me to analyze pitches about original sci-fi shows? And the answer to that is yes, of course. So now, while I wait for the delay, Luke, if you could clarify which you were saying yes to. I did point the grinder at it and right click, but yeah. Oh, you were saying something in the game? Is that what I'm missing, or am I just going freaking nuts? And now I can't remember, because I was talking to you guys what it was that I need this time. It wasn't displays. Shoot. I'm gonna have to go back, aren't I? Dang it. And it's easier to walk. Let's see. Use that remove BirdOPrey5 and tie him to the throne. Your own sci-fi pitches. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. That's player disconnected unknown. We have a player in the game named Unknown, or that's just kind of weird. Computers, that's what I need. Oh wait, what else do I need? And bulletproof glass. So that will be it. Oh, Cinnabon put that there. Yes, computers. Thank you, Cinnabon. After I just looked at it. So we need computers and bulletproof glass. And that should be enough for the cockpit, but then we still got to make a power source, which I was going to try to make a couple of solar panels while it's still daylight, hopefully. All right, so now, see, I do suck at this game, but I also enjoy this game, so it's kind of a trade-off. Dan23 is back on. Let's see, Chronos says I'm drifting. I'm not sure what you mean there, Kronos. And Luke says, and perhaps examining ones from others, something community focused. Yeah, I like the idea. It's just the only real concern I have is, will anybody watch it? But the only way to know that is to try it out. So we'll try it and see. Need a couple of girders, and fortunately, it looks like that's all I need to make that work. That's gender pit. No, it's not gender pit. It is genitalia pit. You got to get it right. Genitalia, because that's what we're avoiding anything, because gender pit implies that we're gender biased. So we don't want that. And so we need something that is completely unbiased. And I think that genitalia is the only term to use there. Mike Richards is in from Columbus, Ohio. Hey, Mike, we're doing a little experiment in Space Engineers, but now that the sun is going down, I may not have enough time to actually test my theory until the next day rolls around. Oh, okay, but looks like I do have power on there, so, well, maybe not. It's accelerating very, very slowly. Wow, that is so probably just not enough power right now, that was hilarious. Don't forget about my earlier Skype message. Just in case. Oh yes, you're absolutely right. I will in just a couple of minutes here. Let me see if I can quickly get enough power for these ion thrusters. Again, this is going to be the funkiest looking spaceship ever. Enter, you listen to the Brit band Gorillaz. I have never heard of the Brit band Gorillaz. So, yeah. Hey, Pink Bunny is connected. Yes, that is scary. So it looks like DJ just joined the game. Congratulations, DJ. All right, so now I have 3 solar panels. And if you've ever seen Birdemic, you'll know that the proper term is solar panels. And let's see. It's still, man, that is some seriously ridiculously slow acceleration. I need to add everyone on Skype. I need to figure out why I don't have any power. Let's see. You've heard of Gorillaz even if you don't realize you were listening to them. Really? Okay. Who are they? Luke says, read my last comment. Read the comment prior, then perhaps. Then perhaps examining ones from others, something community. Yes. And I like the idea. That's what I was saying. What I would say this is, honestly, if you come across a pitch for something like that, then by all means, send it to the TNN at antitrekker.com. So that, just checking because my phone went off, I want to make sure it wasn't anything important. Go to TNN or send an email to TNN at antitrekker.com with the link to the pitch, and Mr. Miles will take a look at it and then forward it on to me. So I'm confused. What? Let me see, because it doesn't seem like I'm getting enough power, and which is really, really annoying. Let's see. Prior to that one, well, Luke, you realize how difficult you're making it. Okay, your own sci-fi pitches, then perhaps examining ones. Yeah, I saw that and I read it. The comment you missed, do you think there's any room on your YouTube market for original sci-fi show pitches? And would you contemplate the idea to make ones? And then you said yes, and then you said your own sci-fi pitches, and then perhaps examining ones from others, something community focused. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. There's actually, I'll tell you that there's an idea, and maybe I'll organize it into a comprehensive video for a pitch that was called Battle for Sol, S-O-L, as in our solar system. And the only problem with Battle for Sol, well, I originally wrote a treatment of it, oh gosh, probably about 10 years ago or so. It's very similar to The Expanse. So a lot of people would think I'm just ripping off The Expanse, even though I kind of created it before The Expanse. Gorillaz is basically Blur, the animated series. Okay. I had no idea what you're talking about. Gorillaz have a lot of radio songs that sound different than their album music. And no problem, Luke. Yeah, Gorillaz I've never heard of. And I'll be honest with you, as far as music is concerned, I don't listen to modern top 40 music or anything. So I don't know what's popular these days. And honestly, don't really care. Wesley says, I am always really tired. You and me both, my friend. So, I don't know what's up with this test. It's not working. Maybe I need Cinnabon's expertise. I probably just need more power. Because it seems like, the ion thruster, with as lightweight a ship as this is, one ion thruster should be able to push it better than it is. So, anyway, guys. But so Bird of Prey, your throne room awaits. We'll keep it warm for you, plenty warm, nice and toasty. And I will work on expanding out the engine room, since I think that there's some fair criticism there about the engines being too close together. And maybe I'll improve the throne. Maybe that'll make Bird a little more interested in peace, as if I expand on that throne a bit. In the meantime, guys, I hope that you all have a one. Oh, hey, Wesley, I missed why you're really tired. Well, yeah, I did. He said, let me see, Wesley, if I can find it. And see, I always have to like get out of the game screen. I'm working back-to-back shifts, so I've not been on the last few. Oh, okay. I was wondering why I haven't seen you lately. So yeah, working a lot of overtime like that can kill you. I know. Is the ship still tied to the dock? The main ship, yes. The little experimental ship that I milled was never tied to the dock. See, it's just floating there. So I'm not sure why it's not working. I mean, even without a gyroscope, which shouldn't matter because I was just trying to apply forward thrust. So I don't know why it's not moving. I just got done with an animation of the USS Vengeance attacking the JJ Verse Enterprise. Cool. Although, you know, why not do the good, good ships? Don't use crappy ships. You know, so go with Constitution class ships and stuff. How did the chat with the doctor go yesterday? Man, and that was continuing this morning, by the way. I was on the phone with the doctor's office for about an hour and a half this morning. Basically, so originally the doctor wanted to do these injections in my knee. The insurance company said no. They were supposed to call me back to schedule a surgeon. Haven't heard anything. Been driving me crazy. So then I talked to them this morning, and the first person I talked to at the doctor's office says, "Oh no, the insurance company approved it now, so you're good to go." And I'm like, "Oh, great, cool," but that's directly contradictory to everything the insurance company told me and everything. So then, I just said, "Can I talk to the office manager, the person I've been talking to before?" So it's like, get the office manager. The office manager, no, the insurance did not approve the injections. You still have to do the surgery. And at this point, I'm in a holding pattern waiting for the surgery center to call me to schedule the surgery. So yeah. DJ says, I'm nowhere near a freaking planet. Well, DJ, depending on which faction you want to join, what you should probably do is send that faction your GPS coordinates. So there you go. If I survive work today, I'll be on tonight 10 hours from now. Well, if I am conscious and still fighting writer's block, I'll probably see you there. Doctor, so my untrained eye, the thrusters appear to be pointing at each other. Wouldn't that act as a baffle, canceling out the thrust reaction for Yes, Dr. Alex, but you see, you're thinking of it from real-world physics. You're absolutely right. Yes, these thrusters are in fact facing each other, which doesn't make a lot of sense and wouldn't work in the real world. However, in Space Engineers, it works just fine. Why that is, I don't know. And in fact, one thing we could do to kind of test to see if it is kind of a baffling effect, let's grind away this one. And then we'll get back in the genitalia pit. Ah, look at that. So it does make a difference. Ooh, except now I'm going to crash. Or maybe not. Maybe not. I didn't crash. Oh, I did crash. Ooh, dang. Hopefully it doesn't do too much damage. Wow. There. That was stupid of me, but thank you, Doctor. So I guess it was too close. So there is the wreckage of the test ship. If they prove something, don't ask questions and just schedule the injection. Except that here's what would happen, sir. I would go in and get the injections, and then I would get a $1,500 bill from the insurance company. So yeah, that's the problem. And so, Dr. Ox says, aha, I can engineer. Well, you should get Space Engineers, my friend. And so, well, now we know, but thank you, Dr. Alex. Your inspiration did prove a point. So I will redesign the engine room in the game here. And, that's the stupidest thing. Notice that stuff falls. in space.
Inventory full.
That makes no sense. So we'll just let that drift off for eternity. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, we'll move all the engines. That's going to suck. It's going to take some time, but we'll do it. I can already picture the Turdistani ship classes. The mean diarrhea class, the constipation class. You know what? Did that piece just fall in 0G? Yes, Bird, it does. It makes no freaking sense. Although there is artificial gravity nearby because I have gravity generators both on the ship and we have them on the base as well. So that could be part of it. So Luke, I like the way you're thinking. You know, so the diarrhea class would be a small, fast ship, you know, where the constipation class would be something very large and imposing, you know. Oh, that's just horrible. The Last Jedi bomber physics. Apparently, yes. So there we go. And meanwhile, DJ Odyssey is, he says he's in a pod. What's that going on? Let's see. Looking for a planet. Any. I'm still in some sort of pod. Might have been a while. Seems like not floating anywhere. I think DJ, depending on when you entered the game, DJ, if you're still watching this, when you entered into the game, it gives you an option of to spawn Earth-type planet, Mars, Moon, or just it'll just say like in space. What did you pick? Which one did you pick? What about the IBS class? Ooh, the IBS class, that would be a very powerful vessel indeed. Very heavy armor. That would be the USS Polyp. Oh, man. I heard Bird's ego is large enough to create its own gravity. No artificial gravity needed. That's probably true. Now, one thing I do want to talk about real quick, though, before I sign off, we'll go back to the main screen here, is something that that came from Mr. Miles. So we were talking about the article videos that we do, you know, the TNN News articles. Now, I know some of you don't like that we do the news articles. The honest truth of it is that it's just a way for us to keep getting some content going while I'm struggling to get anything done and dealing with the pain. It's easy to do the article type videos relative to the scripted videos. And Alexander shows up, puts a couple of fake Canadian dollars, says all humankind wants MCU Aunt May naked right now. See, that's
I have got
I
something
think you're wrong
better.
about that, Alexander, but you're welcome. So one thing that he was wanting to know, and so listen to me, guys, because you guys are going to help determine the fate of the future TNN News articles. Do you want the videos themselves to be more or less pretty simple in nature, like not a lot of fancy edits, not a lot of clips thrown in and stuff like that, just basically listening to my reaction, basic graphics that Wesley that Mr. Miles can put up on the screen for it and all that? Or do you like when Mr. Miles goes all out with the editing and throws lots of stuff in there, puts in clips that match what I'm talking about, and lots of fancy graphics and stuff? Now, the reason for the question is that, and Mr. Miles is perfectly fine doing either one. However, it takes more time to do the more complicated videos. It takes less time to do the simpler videos, but the simpler videos are a little less extravagant, for lack of a better term. So the question is, what do you guys prefer? Simple or intricate as far as the news videos? Now, don't get me wrong, the news videos are never going to completely take over the channel. This is just a supplement to the channel. Right now, it's all I've been able to get out, but that's because of some of the crap that I've been dealing with. Alexander says, I watched Alita Battle Angel and it was a masterpiece. I would say Alita Battle Angel was not a bad movie, but I would not call it a masterpiece because unfortunately Alita was borderline Mary Sue. So I like the videos with the extra clips and stuff. Chrono says a bit of both. Simple and more complicated. Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, so simple videos, we can crank out more of them. That's the plus to the simple videos. Captain the TSS Mean Diarrhea Khan moved in and screamed, Captain of the TSS Constipation, well, Turdistani Shatter. Luke, you're killing me. I like John Mayer's Sphinxter class, though. I sent an article about MCU Aunt May for TNN. Awesome. Hopefully Mr. Miles has that. And Josh Street says, Cronus is that. Yeah. So it sounds like and thank you, Alexander, for the other $2. But it sounds like Mr. Miles and you guys, I know not a lot of you are answering. There's like 30 of you watching. So some of you guys that are like to lurk, I would love to hear your opinion on it because this is all about what you guys think. But it does seem like that the consensus, Mr. Miles, is to try to find a happy middle, right? To where they like when you add the clips and stuff, just don't overdo it so that it takes us forever and a day to get a video out. And I think that's summing up what they're saying. And hope that gives you the answer you're looking for. Alita's as much a Mary Sue as Kirk was. I would disagree with you, Tentacle. I think Alita is more of a Mary Sue than Captain Kirk. Alita in that movie, and don't get me wrong, again, I enjoyed the movie. Alita was not a Ray type character or a Michael Burnham type character, but she was basically, I mean, she was naive a little bit at the beginning, but she's never wrong. She never does anything incorrectly, and she never loses a fight. The closest she comes to losing a fight, she literally gets diced into little pieces and still punches the guy so hard that her fist goes through his eye into his head. All right? So that's a little bit much. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought it was entertaining. But, you know, yeah. So we should have more Demora Sulu and MCU Aunt May naked. Well, you say more like we've ever had that. We have never had Demora Sulu or MCU Aunt May naked. And quite frankly, I don't think that was. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing that we haven't had that because Demora Sulu is barely a character. But yeah, Alita loses in the beginning and was discarded as trash. Well, we don't know what exactly happened to her, why she was discarded as trash. I mean, they allude to it a little bit, but I'm saying, Tentacle, what we see on screen. And by the way, I would love to know if Alita is that badass, how did she lose? That seems so inconsistent. If she was beaten so badly that she was discarded in a trash heap, how the heck did that happen, considering that even in her ragtag form that was cobbled together by a dude that was using the parts that were available on the surface world, not up in the fancy floating city, which, by the way, was a complete ripoff of the Cloud Minders. But how was it that she was able to kick so much butt as that and yet get beaten and discarded like a piece of garbage? That doesn't make any sense. But who knows? There's probably not going to be a sequel, so we'll never find out. Lady Jane Thor, 'tis but a flesh wound when she is diced into bits. Yes. And USS Shitner sounds... that's horrible. Alexander says, but there's a good explanation for Alita. This is not coming from nowhere in the movie. But here's the thing. And you can explain it all day long, but to me, my biggest problem with Alita, and again, I liked the movie. I didn't think it was a great movie, but I liked it. You can explain that someone is a badass all day long, but if they never lose, if they are that good, right, to where they never ever screw up and they never lose a fight, then there's no tension. Not once during the big climactic fights and stuff in the movie did I think, oh no, she's going to get her butt kicked. And that's, Mr. Miles wants me to make sure to say that the complicated edits won't vanish. They'll just be focused on other videos rather than the TNN videos. So that's, yeah. Thank you for clarifying that, Mr. Miles. But the problem is that in the course of this film, she never loses a fight. It never feels like she's going to lose a fight. It never and especially once she gets the new and improved Martian battle armor, it's like, oh crap, well now she's up to level 11 and she's completely unbeatable. And that's exactly what we see. From the time she puts on the Martian battle armor, it's like, okay, it's completely over at this point. She might as well just run up to the city floating in the sky and start kicking everybody's butt. And so that's, now don't get me wrong, I like the movie. I said, and I didn't say she is a Mary Sue, Luke, I said she's borderline. All right, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that she is a full-on Mary Sue. She's not. But what I am saying is that she's a little too good, a little too perfect, and that's a common flaw in film, particularly with female protagonists. Why is it a problem with female protagonists? Because producers and directors and stuff are afraid to have women get hurt, and so that's the problem. You can argue her weakness is vulnerability of those around who care. Except that the old man who's taking care of her has a freaking rocket-powered scythe and kicks all sorts of butt himself. There is nobody weak in this film. She's, Alita looks Asian with her eyes. She's an anime character. She looks like a literal interpretation of an anime character. And I gotta say, I know some people think that it looks amazing. I, quite frankly, kept feeling Uncanny Valley throughout that movie. It looked like, to me, a very good video game cutscene. The entire movie, to me, feels like a very good video game cutscene. At least every time we see Alita herself or one of the other cyborgs on screen. It's not bad looking, but it's not convincing to me. Now, that's just my own subjective opinion. If you thought it was absolutely flawless and perfect in every way, that's great. I don't have a problem with that. And it was certainly a better movie than Captain Marvel. It was certainly and a better movie than Ghostbusters 2016. It was a good female-led movie, but it does have the problem. And in fact, Jeremy Johns even talks about this briefly in his review of it, that it suffers from Superman syndrome. Superman syndrome is basically the idea, Superman you never feel like Superman's in real danger because he's freaking Superman. Boyfriend dies, doctor, ex-wife dies, their costs. Yeah, but we don't see her struggle, right? Yes, people around her can die, but she can't. And I understand that that's just the way that the story is, and I know, Alexander, you're talking about the manga that it's based on. That's fine, and I don't know how accurate it is. I've never read Alita, the manga. And quite frankly, this movie doesn't inspire me to want to read it, because if it's a faithful interpretation of the manga, then she's just unbeatable, and I don't like that. I don't want heroes that are unbeatable. I really don't. And at least, and even if a hero never loses the fight, you want to at least get the feeling that the hero can lose a fight, right? Like, for example, Batman almost never loses, right? Batman, and at least classic, I don't know about Batman today, where he's probably, suffering from his toxic masculinity or something. But I'm talking about classic Batman. He doesn't lose fights. He's considered the world's greatest martial artist. He's awesome, blah, 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 blah. However, he is but human. And so when he's going up against superpowered villains and stuff, you feel like he could lose. But yeah. Luke says, hey, Trigger, she keeps missing the point and fight through the movie. Even with the super Martian body, she ends up losing to the villain who keeps control of near everything. She doesn't lose to the villain. The villain is never there. The villain is up in the floating city. She just hasn't gotten up there yet. And that's all set up for the sequel that will probably never happen. If there was a sequel, she would go up to the mega city in the sky and beat everybody there. Schromer's in the house, just as I'm trying to sign off. Says, greetings, Antricker and fellow nerds, and greetings to Auntie, Stalker of Treats, Sniffer of Bottoms, Occasional Barker, Sleeper Extraordinaire, and Puppet Mistress of Turdistan, a.k.a. Wow, how do you say it? Begalcia? Okay, that's a new one. Did Kirk ever lose? That's an interesting question. Because technically, did he actually lose? Like, I'm trying to think. There are a couple of fights that he's lost. Heck, he got captured by the United States Air Force in the 1960s. Yes, Kirk has lost fist fights many a time. Now, and he's been wrong many a time, and that's actually something I liked. Is like, and Mr. Miles, a great episode to examine about the ethos of what I'm talking about here is Arena. Arena is an entire episode where the climax of the episode is not the fight. It's after it's them realizing, holy crap, we're the bad guys. And so that is the point of that episode. Kirk was wrong all along until the very end when he realizes how wrong he was. Alexander, it's fine to be unbeatable when you're an Asian woman. No, it's not. I don't want unbeatable heroes. They're boring. Cisco nearly lost to Gul Dukat. I'm not comparing Kirk to Cisco or anything like that. I'm just saying that, but if you look at Kirk, yes, Kirk has lost fights. He has been wrong on multiple occasions. And so, yes. And Kirk has shown self-doubt over and over. In fact, one of my favorite scenes that you used in one of my videos, Mr. Miles, from Balance of Terror, when Kirk is confessing to Dr. McCoy that he's afraid, that he's not the man for the job. And McCoy gives him the "don't destroy the one named Kirk" speech. Besides your impression that she's unbeatable with that battle body is just an impression, there's a reason why Martian troops lost. Well, whatever the reason the Martian troops lost, if the Martians have battle suits that freaking awesome, they shouldn't have, and it breaks my suspension of disbelief. As soon as they show how badass her battle suit is, I was like, why the hell did the Martians lose the war? Kirk lost, but lost Spock. Okay, if you're talking about Star Trek 2, you could argue that. So where's that Kerbal tutorial? Oh, man, I know. Of course he lost. His son was killed. There's that, too. Yes, it's a setup for a sequel, you say, but here's my own gripe about the movie. It doesn't set up the sequel. It's the same movie, part one. Movie is not finished. I could see that, yeah. Kirk lost Spock. I meant he got him back and did lose him, but also lost David. Yeah, Kirk is but when talking about, like, Kirk gets into a fist fight, right? And Kirk is a legendary hand-to-hand fighter in the world of Trek. I know it looks cheesy by today's standards as far as the style they use, but Kirk is supposed to be a badass, and he has had his ass handed to him over and over and over. That's not, and so if you have a badass who gets hurt, that makes it more interesting. And in fact, I mean, if you look at when they do no-win scenario type things like Kirk versus Spock in Amok Time, and Kirk would have been dead for real if Dr. McCoy hadn't cheated. Kirk realized Kirk was wrong, so Kirk was right to realize Kirk was wrong. LOL, how very Burnham. Well, actually, Kirk didn't quite realize it until after the fight was over. But he spared the Gorn because he is not a murderer, and that's consistent with Kirk from the past. Kirk could kick Sisko's butt. I tend to, well, if they were both at their prime, I would say yeah. I was trying to follow instructions. I can't find it. O2 levels slowly dropping. Well, you'll die soon, DJ. When you die, just respawn at Earth planet or Earth type planet or whatever it says. Astro Boy had to struggle, so why can't she? Because she's a female. Kirk's son dying isn't Kirk losing, it's Kirk's son losing. Well, you could argue that, sure. But Kirk himself took a hell of a blow from that and ended up, I mean, that in Star Trek 3, not only does David get killed, but he loses the Enterprise in order to try to stay alive. He, basically Krug comes that close to taking Kirk out. And so, and Kirk was the only one of his crew that wasn't a hostage already. So I think the Star Trek 3, you felt like Kirk was in trouble. Even though Kirk, if you stop and actually think about it, you're like, well, Kirk's the hero, he's going to win and all that. But you genuinely feel like Kirk's in trouble when you're watching it. That's what makes for a good drama. It's not good drama if you're watching something like Alita and I was literally during the fight going, okay, so she's unbeatable, so she's going to win. And that's what happened. It's the same thing like when people complain about Captain Marvel in Avengers Endgame. Oh yeah, here comes Captain Marvel. She's unbeatable. She's going to win, and that's what happens. And when you do that when you make a character who is a Superman-esque character, meaning that they are completely invulnerable, then it sucks. Have you seen the honest trailer of Endgame? I have not seen it yet, Peter. I saw that they posted it yesterday. I'm looking forward to it. I do love honest trailers. They're a lot of fun. Ozzy says, Kirk was a Mary Sue in my opinion, but based on the time the show was made, every hero or star of the movie was a Mary Sue except comedies. I still disagree with you, Ozzy, because if Kirk was a Mary Sue, he never would have lost a fight. He never would have been wrong. That's the whole point of Mary Sues. Mary Sues are always right, everybody likes them, and they never lose, right? And Michael Burnham is a perfect example of a Mary Sue. Ray is a perfect example of a Mary Sue. To a lesser degree, Wesley Crusher was a Mary Sue, although he's screwed up a couple of times. So, but I mean, if you think about like with Burnham, the whole premise it's so stupid because here's how Mary Sue Michael Burnham is. The whole premise of Discovery Season 1 was that Michael Burnham was a mutineer and arrested and all that because she tried to mutiny on the Shinzo. However, and which is technically true, then people start blaming her for the creation of the war. She didn't do anything to start the war. She tried to stop the war, and had she gotten her way, there would have never been a war because she was so right. And so I don't want a character that's 100% right. Maybe I'll set Alita's. Alita seemed so good when I was in the theater due to Captain Marvel being of the same time. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Alita was a hell of a lot better than Captain Marvel. And like I said, I don't think Alita was a bad movie in any way. I just think that it could have been improved had they made her a little more vulnerable. And that's the problem is vulnerability makes for an interesting character, not just power, not just badassery. You have to have a character who has vulnerable moments. That's why Superman is not an exciting character, but Batman is. Even though they're very similar in a lot of ways, but Superman, what are you going to do? Shoot him? Bullets will bounce off him. No big deal. Burnham is the Mary Sue, and others are just Mary Sue. But a few Mary Sues can compete with Batman, as Ray is the one that can match her. Yeah, let's be real. Not all Mary Sues are bad. That's the thing. If you look at the Doctor from Doctor Who, the Doctor is a Mary Sue character, and particularly from about the fourth Doctor on. The Doctor has been pretty much a Mary Sue that entire time. The Doctor is always right. The Doctor is liked by pretty much everybody except for his enemies who fear him, right? The Daleks, who want to exterminate all life in the universe, fear the Doctor. Now, why does the Doctor earn this? No reason. He just always wins. So that's something I don't like about Doctor Who, is that Doctor Who, I mean, and don't get me wrong, overall I like the series as a whole, but like, why are the Daleks so afraid of him? He has done nothing to earn that fear. He talks his way out of situations and stuff like that for the most part. He's not a fighter. He doesn't blow things up. He just kind of talks his way out of things. And Dr. Alex is like, the Doctor is awesome, leave him alone. Well, I'm not saying I don't like the Doctor. I love the Doctor. But he is a Mary Sue character. However, he's an entertaining one. And I think Luke called him an apex character at one point, which he is. He has nowhere to improve, right? He's perfect in every way. And while that doesn't mean... So Doctor Who, you're not going to get a lot of tension about whether or not you think the Doctor is going to make it out of it. However, it's still a fun show. And so that's okay. The problem is when a Mary Sue character like Michael Burnham or Ray are on the screen, it can just be infuriating, because one thing that they do that they didn't do so much on Doctor Who, but they do all the time on Star Trek and Star Wars in these latest incarnations, is that Burnham and Ray are everybody else is made to look like idiots in comparison. Not everybody in Doctor Who is an idiot. The Doctor is just the best, right? So you have, his companions. Some of his companions have not been so smart. Some have been absolute geniuses. But his companions are really more where you see the drama of the show is the danger for the companions, not the danger for the Doctor. Because the Doctor can't even die. I mean, you shoot him and kill him, and he just regenerates, right? So, but a Paragon character. Thank you, Luke. I thought it was Apex, but yeah, Paragon character. So the problem there is that with Michael Burnham and with Ray, in order to make her appear to be a badass, they make everybody else dumb. All right. So that's Mrs. Anti-Trekker yelling that I've been on the stream too long because it's time for Auntie to go to her class. You can see how excited she is. She's actually awake. So I do need to sign off, guys. It was a fun little tirade, but I do need to run. So, guys, have an awesome rest of your day and take care and blah, blah, blah. Don't forget to tip your waiter or something.